Hey, sis! Harley just came over to my place. Did you go out and leave him on his own again? Answer! Stop treating your children unequally! You call yourself a mother?
Cut it out, Tim. Your notifications are annoying me. Stop bugging me while we're enjoying our family time.
Family? So why didn't you take Harley? He's yours and your husband's son, is he not?
Oh, Harley? To tell you the truth, we don't want him.
What?
How to put it? It's just hard to believe he's our son.
Why?
Well, his big brother Adam's outstanding. He gets at least 95 points without failing his test at school. He's a natural at sports. He's great at drawing pictures and an amazing singer. He's a genius.
It's true. He is outstanding.
Right? Harley, on the other hand, is useless at whatever we make him do. He's a hopeless good-for-nothing. He isn't even 1/100th of the son Adam is. To be honest, he's so useless, we'd rather spend the money we spend on him on Adam instead. Oh, how I wish he'd never been born.
What the hell? But you're the one who had him in the first place! Surely there's no difference between Adam and Harley. You gave birth to them both all the same time, after all.
Ugh, why so serious?
Is there something wrong with me worrying about my nephew? Being raised in this kind of environment is obviously bad for Harley, but I think it's gonna even cause problems for Adam too.
Well, if you're so bothered, how about I just give you him?
What?
It's just like you said, it wouldn't be a much better environment for Adam if Harley wasn't around.
Hey, I didn't mean it like that. I'm just asking you whether you love your children equally.
But it makes sense to love the gifted one more.
What are you saying?
Oh, that reminds me. You and Bertha got married 3 years ago, but you still don't have kids, right? What's wrong? Does one of you have problems?
No, we just want to have kids after we saved up more money first. We plan on trying for a baby soon.
Oh, you do? This is perfect timing then. I'm sorry he's a useless good-for-nothing despite being 10 years old, but I'll give you Harley.
Come on, it's not that simple.
For the time being. I want you to have him live with you for a trial period starting today.
I just told you this isn't something you can decide at the drop of a hat.
In any case, we're moving house.
Huh? You're moving?
Yes, in preparation for Adam entering a prestigious junior school in Seattle. Harley's just in her way.
No way. Is this the reason you sent her to my house in the first place?
Oh, and the phone we gave Harley. He won't be able to use it anymore after tomorrow. If you want him to keep being able to use it, you'll have to start a new contract.
Huh? What do you mean?
I mean, we reluctantly bought him it after Adam told us he thought his brother should get a phone too. We'll finally be able to stop wasting money on him. It's such a relief.
How can you say that?
Anyway, bye! Uncle Tim, where are you?
Harley? What's wrong? Can't you sleep?
No.
Sorry for leaving you on your own. I had an important phone call to take. I'm in the living room now.
What about Aunt Bertha? Is it my fault she had to go out?
No. You know how your aunt's a nurse? Well, it's her turn to work the night shift today, so she'll be back tomorrow.
Uncle Tim? Can I say something to you here by message?
Sure, what is it?
I'm sorry.
Huh?
I know I'm nothing but a nuisance to you and Aunt Bertha. I'm sorry.
Why do you think that?
Well,
Have your aunt and uncle called you a nuisance even once?
no, but I love my aunt and uncle. I love you because you're not like my mom. You don't get mad with me, and you smile at me. so I don't want you guys to hate me.
Harley. Listen, Harley. Me and Bertha discussed this before she went to work. But would you like to be our son?
Your son? I can be your son?
It's okay. I'm gonna let your mom and dad know about it. Of course, we'll only go ahead with it if it's okay with you.
Yes. I want to be your son. I love my big brother Adam, but I don't ever want to go back to them.
It's settled then. Starting from today, you're my son, Harley.
Yeah.
Let's leave the messages for tonight. I'm about to head to your room. So, shall we go to sleep?
Yeah.
Dad, you got a minute? Hey, Harley. I'm gonna be home soon. What's up? She stood right outside the entrance to our apartment block. I don't know what to do. What? My mom, who gave birth to me, is stood hanging around outside the main entrance. Huh? Do you mean my big sister? Yeah. It's been 8 years, but it's her. I'm sure of it. I look a lot like my big brother Adam. I don't think I can make it past her unnoticed. Seems like there could be some trouble if she sees me, so I'm watching her from the shadows. I just had a sneaky peek out the window. You're right. It's my sister. She's even got a suitcase. But why, after all this time? She hasn't contacted us even once these past 8 years. Dad? Actually, I got a message from Adam earlier today. He said my old mom and dad divorced a little while ago. What? Really? Apparently, Mom slammed some divorce papers down on the table as a threat to Dad. But he immediately took them to the office and handed them in. What the... He said they were fighting over what he would study at university. Things turned sour, and this is the result. Dad wanted him to be a lawyer and entered him into the legal faculty. But Mom wanted him to be a doctor, so she complained at him non-stop. Adam wanted to do programming, though. So they completely ignored what he wanted to do himself. Anyway, we can speak about this later. Harley, I'm about to come out in the car. Can you wait by the convenience store on the main road? She won't be able to see you from the main entrance if we enter the apartments to the underground car park. Okay, I understand. I'll be there. Great. See you in front of the store. Got it! What are you doing here, sis? I could see you from my window.
Oh, Tim! Good grief, if you could see me, let me in already. I came all the way here only to find out your apartment block has security? You never told me.
Why would I let you in?
Why wouldn't you? I went out of my way to come and see you. Not only that, but you've got my son.
Huh?
On that note, when's he coming home? I waited outside for a whole 2 hours, but he's nowhere to be seen.
If you're talking about Harley, he's been inside with me for a while now.
Oh, he has?
What do you want with Harley?
We got a divorce. My husband took Adam, so I have no choice. Harley's a failure, so there's no way he can go to university. But he can at least find a job and look after his mother.
Look after you?
Even a good-for-nothing like him should be capable of showing a bare minimum of gratitude to his mom.
Nope, not happening.
What? Why?
Harley's still in his 3rd year of high school.
What? Is he such a moron he got held back a year? Will the embarrassment never end? Oh my god.
You're the one who should be embarrassed.
Why?
He didn't get held back a year.
Huh? But...
You can at least remember the age of the child you gave birth to.
Oh, stop it. So I was off by a year at most. It's not a big deal. But in that case, I guess it can't be helped. I'll wait until he graduates. Keep him at your place until then, okay?
No, he's going to university.
What?
looks like he wasn't as much of a worthless moron as you said he was. The opposite, in fact. His high school is one of the best in the state. Not only that, but his grades are consistently among the top 10 of his year.
Really?
If they weren't, his teacher wouldn't have recommended he take the entrance exam for a notoriously difficult to enter university. As for sports, it's hard to say because all of his after-school clubs are literary. But he always gets impressive grades in gym class.
Wow, I see. Harley's amazing. That's my boy.
Huh?
In that case, I'm gonna move in with you guys and live with you as Harley's mother until he graduates university. But he absolutely has to join the medical faculty when he does.
What are you talking about? I was just bragging about my son.
What?
Do you really think you can just turn up out of the blue and declare that you're going to be living with us? Plus, demanding I give him back so he can look after you? Who the hell do you think you are?
Harley's my son. He has a duty to look after me.
All you did was give birth to him.
Duh, I'm his mother because I gave to him.
You're the one who chose to get rid of him 8 years ago. Me and Bertha are the ones who adopted him. So me and Bertha are his parents now.
I don't need to hear this crap. Just hurry up and let me in.
It's Harley who doesn't want to see you.
Huh? How can that be? You do know the best thing for a child is to be with their mother, right? It's pretty obvious you and your wife never had kids of your own.
I have a son in elementary school.
Huh?
He was born 6 years ago. Harley's amazing with him. And he's so smitten that I think he loves him even more than me and his mom. He has a message for you. I only have one mom, and I think of her as my mother from the bottom of my heart. Her name is Bertha. You've been a stranger to me ever since that day 8 years ago.
Huh.
So basically, you're not welcome in our family. Please, hurry up and get lost.
But I don't have anywhere to live.
Go back and live with Mom and Dad then.
But they live in the middle of nowhere.
I'll call the police.
What?
Actually, you've been loitering outside for more than 2 hours now. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if one of the residents already called them. My sister left in a panic immediately after that. But she didn't have anywhere else to go, and I heard she went back to our parents' house for a time. However, she found living with our mom and dad, who she never got along with to begin with, very difficult, and now lives in the corner of a small city, barely scraping by a living. As for Adam, who initially lived with his dad, her ex-husband, he immediately withdrew from the university his dad forced him to go to and flew over to the UK on his own. Just like before, him and his little brother Harley got on like a house on fire and message each other from time to time. He says finally being free of his over-interfering parents feels like a weight off his back. He's having a blast with his long-cherished dream of studying programming. As for Harley, he's currently in the middle of his university entrance exams. He and his girlfriend, who he met last year, are currently supporting each other through their exams and studying as hard as they can.
Mel, where are you right now? Where did your clothes and all your stuff go? Place is empty. Frankie's room too! Everything's gone! What's going on? Where did you and Frankie go?
Hello, Jay. I know this is sudden and might come as a surprise, but me and Frankie won't be coming back home.
What?
I met someone else. We're getting a divorce. Don't worry, I'll only be taking Frankie. You can keep Anthony.
What? Where the hell did this come from? What's going on? Why?
I'm doing this for Frankie's benefit. Let's face it, Jay, our son is a genius. He's always at the top of his class, he loves to study, he excels at every sport he tries, everything he touches turns to gold. He wins the school art and music competitions every single year, too. There's no doubt about it, he's genuinely gifted. Which is why I think he deserves to be raised in the best environment possible and receive a superb education worthy of such high intellect. That's why he needs someone who's capable of providing financially for him. Let's face it, Jay, that's not you, is it? I'm sorry, but our son deserves better than what you can give him.
What? I'm not filthy rich, so you're divorcing me and moving out with my son all of a sudden? I don't understand the logic. We have food on the table, do we not? I thought we were getting by. And why do you only want Frankie? None of this makes any sense. How do you think this is going to make Anthony feel? Have you even thought about that? This is basically the same as saying, hey son, you're not as smart as your brother, so I'm abandoning you. See ya!
It's not basically the same. That's really what I'm doing. He's a good-for-nothing dullard that will never amount to anything. He's a failure of a human being. Son or not, what benefit is there in having someone like that around?
What? How can you say that? Anthony is not a failure of a human being.
Yes, he damn well is. His grades are below average in literally everything. He sucks at studying, he's so clumsy he doesn't even get picked in team sports, he's useless. He never won a single prize at school. No, it's worse than that. He never won a single thing in his life. How could he be described as anything other than a failure of a human being?
Stop speaking about him like that! Anthony's doing his best. He works so hard and tries to meet your expectations of him. Just because he might not always meet them doesn't mean he's not trying. He skips on sleep to study, damn it! Besides, his grades might not be the best, but they did start going up over the last year.
Maybe they did start going up a little recently, but they're still only slightly above average. If that's the best he can do when he pushes his limits, he is obviously not cut out for anything special. Face it, he lost the dice roll. Frankie got the clever genes. All the study in the world is meaningless without results. Frankie's always been a natural at whatever he does. How did his big brother end up so useless? If we're honest, he'll only end up holding Frankie back. Do you want to end up with 2 failed children?
Come on, are you seriously saying we should separate them? They're brothers and they love each other. They get on like a house on fire. How do you think they'd feel about being torn apart? They're still in elementary and middle school, for crying out loud. It would crush them and you know it.
Frankie would be more crushed by growing up to be a failure and realizing it was all because he received the poisonous influence of his loser brother for far too long. We have to be courageous enough to make the decision now, before it's too late. Anyway, whether you like it or not, it's already decided. I'm taking Frankie because he's gifted, he's going to do great things one day. My new boyfriend is very wealthy. He's the CEO of a major donut chain, but he doesn't have any kids of his own. He said if Frankie can maintain his excellent grades until he graduates college, he'll adopt him and appoint him as successor to his company. And the cream of the intellectual crop, with the support of my new boyfriend, he'll be receiving a world-class education of the kind that most people can only dream of. Then one day, he'll be part of the business elite, the backbone of America. Which is precisely why he can't be allowed to associate with a pair of brain-dead morons like you two for 1 second longer. Me and Frankie are moving up in the world. And me and you will be cutting all ties.
Just wait a sec, Mel. You don't just get to decide something like this all on your own. I won't accept it.
I don't care whether you accept it or not. Whatever you say, I'm absolutely not taking his moron brother. I wouldn't if you paid me. I hope you and Anthony enjoy your new life together. It might be hard, what with you two having a combined IQ of less than 50 and all, but good luck. Goodbye forever. Hello, Jay. It's been a while. It's me, Mel.
What do you want after all this time? Go away.
I'd rather you weren't so rude. I was thinking of celebrating today, so I gave you a call. I heard the news about Anthony getting into med school. That's my boy. I always knew he'd do great things. He's got brains just like his mother. I can't tell you how proud this makes me.
Oh, that's strange. I could have sworn you were calling him every name under the sun when we last spoke 5 years ago. Good for nothing loser, brain dead, a failure of a human being. You cast us both aside like pieces of trash.
He really was a failure back then, though. I mean, come on, Jay. His grades were below average. Let me tell you, though, I was astonished when I heard he'd made it into med school. My jaw practically hit the floor. But you know what? Deep down, I always knew that he had what it took to go the distance, to really do something amazing with his life.
You've got some nerve, woman. The only reason you want to snuggle up to him now is because he got into med school. I can read you like a book. You're as shallow as you are naive. He doesn't need you to celebrate for him. Now get lost.
Oh, wait, just wait. That's not all I wanted to say. There's something else we have to talk about.
There is? You mean you have more nonsensical crap to bore me with? Today must be my lucky day, huh?
Stop being so difficult and just listen. It's about Frankie. You know how his grades were so excellent back when I took him 5 years ago? Well, I'd like to trade him for Anthony.
Excuse me?
No one could deny he was the shame of our family back then. He was so clumsy, it was like he had 2 left feet, which naturally made him useless at sports, and his academic ability was even worse. But now he's in med school, I have absolutely no problem with acknowledging him as my son. Rather than betting everything on Frankie, whose performance at this point is so pathetic, he might not even make it past his college entrance exams. I think it would make more sense to invest our hopes for the future in Anthony, who's already proven he's the one who's going places by getting into med school. My husband agreed. He said if he's clever enough to get into med school, he'd have no problem with allowing him to live with us. Look, basically, you need to give me Anthony.
Wow. Just when I thought you couldn't sink any lower, you speak about our boys like they're racehorses.
I get it. Maybe there's a better way to say it, but when you think about it realistically, children are basically racehorses, aren't they? My life will change enormously depending on whether my sons succeed or not. It's only natural to want to hedge your bets on the promising one. You get that, right?
Like hell I do! You're twisted! Anthony isn't some tool solely existing to provide you with a comfortable life. Not only did you snatch Frankie away from his dad and brother, but now you're trying to manipulate Anthony like he's some pawn on a chessboard?
Fine. If you don't want to give me Anthony, let's trade.
What?
I'll give you Frankie if you give me Anthony. Frankie might still only be in high school, but it is one of the most prestigious high schools in the country. I'll even cover all his tuition fees and send you regular child support payments. You can't say fairer than that. I think this is a really favorable trade for you.
Wow, just hold on a sec. You want us to trade sons? What are they, Pokemon cards? Are you insane? How could you do that to Frankie? I thought you loved him.
You'll probably find it eventually, so I may as well just tell you the truth. But Frankie moved out half a year ago.
He did what?
He was doing great until middle school. Top grades, always winning competitions and prizes. He was the golden boy. But when he moved up to high school, he met a girl on social media who clearly must have poisoned his mind. Because not long after they met, he left home. He did carry on going to school for a little while, and he did used to message me every now and then. But eventually he stopped showing up, and even if I went to meet him or lied in wait where he couldn't see me, nothing. I have no idea where he went and have no way of getting him back.
Frankie did that?
My husband flipped a switch. I've never seen him so furious. He invested so much in that boy's education so he could be his successor and inherit the company one day. To think all it took to destroy it was some bimbo. He threatened to divorce me if I couldn't get Frankie back.
No way. So the only reason you want Anthony is as a replacement for Frankie? You're using him as a tool to avoid getting divorced?
If I'm completely honest, yes. We had an arrangement. My husband, being childless, said that if I could provide him with an adoptive son and successor to his company, he'd promise me a life of luxury as a celeb trophy wife. If I don't hurry up and find him a replacement, I'm gonna be on the streets.
I didn't know it was actually possible for a single human being to be this despicable. You make me sick. I have no words. To think part of me actually thought you were being sincere back then when you said you were doing what you did for Frankie. Turns out you were only ever thinking about yourself. Does your selfishness know no bounds?
You can say what you want about me, I don't care. Are you gonna give me Anthony or not? I might not be able to trade him for Frankie, but who knows, maybe he'll go and live with you voluntarily. If Anthony can get into med school after being such a failure, anything's possible. Maybe Frankie could even become a respectable human being again if he lived with you. So what's it gonna be? Will you give me him?
You must be deluded if you think even for a second I'm actually going to go along with this. You're something else. Time to wake up and smell the coffee. You're the one who got abandoned.
Huh?
You probably thought you were the one abandoning me and Anthony. But the only one who actually got abandoned is you.
What are you talking about? What does that mean?
Frankie probably finally saw through your unparalleled selfishness and decided he was better off making a life for himself rather than relying on his deluded and very likely sociopathic mother. Basically, he had enough of you and didn't want to be around you a moment longer.
There's no way Frankie would ever think that about me. He's a genius. How could anyone so wise and intelligent have a negative opinion of me?
He left precisely because he's wise and intelligent. He probably realized that he was doomed to a life of being used and manipulated if he stayed with you. So he made a break for it and abandoned you. That's my boy.
Oh my god. After we spent so much money on him.
Anyway, I won't be giving you Anthony, and we won't be doing any kind of trade. In fact, Anthony is adamant he never wants to see you again. I also have no intention of letting him come anywhere near someone as dangerous as you. You can beg me as much as you like. I'm simply going to ignore you, and I will absolutely not be helping you. Leave us alone forever.
No, wait, please! I'm gonna be in so much trouble if you don't help me. Please, I won't have anywhere to live. If I can't provide my husband with a replacement son, his company will be successorless. What do you propose he do about that, huh?
Oh, is that my problem? Nope. That has precisely zero to do with me and my sons. Zilch. Nada.
Please, Jay, I'm begging you. Will you at least let Anthony meet my husband? He can do what he likes as long as he agrees to inherit the company. If he doesn't, I'm gonna get kicked out. I'll be homeless. Could you live with yourself? Be honest, could you?
Yes, very easily. It's actually kind of ironic, isn't it? You called Anthony a failure of a human being for so long. But ultimately, you're only capable of getting by begging from and sponging off of others. Looks like you were the one that failed a human being all along. After that, Mel showed up at my front door after driving a very long way to try and persuade me. Or should I say, my old front door. I'd moved house 2 years back and made a point of not telling her my new address. So I was surprised to hear from my old neighbor about the strange woman making a racket next door. Apparently, she gave up eventually, and her efforts to contact me and Anthony ended in vain. I heard she also went to the police to see if they'd help her find Frankie, but they told her no crime had been committed and refused to have anything to do with it. Ultimately, her worst fears came true. Her husband divorced her, and she was homeless. She somehow managed to scrape together the rent on a tiny cockroach-ridden apartment, and currently spends her days in the depths of poverty, probably contemplating where it all went wrong. By the way, there's something I should come clean about. Frankie moved in with me and his brother 6 months ago. The stress of his mother constantly restricting his freedom, combined with the pressure put on by him by her husband to take over his company, became too much to bear. In order to pull off this vanishing act, he pretended he met a girl online and had decided to go and live with her. Then, as he moved up to high school, he put together a bare minimum of essential items and came home to live with me and his brother. I know he's my son, but if I do say so myself, that was one hell of a move. I was in awe of his decisiveness and strength of will. With his mom getting divorced, he couldn't afford to stay at the original high school he moved up to, so he moved to another one near our house. Now, he's living comfortably while doing the things that he wants to do, living life on his own terms. As for Anthony, he was over the moon to be reunited with his brother. The three of us intend to live our lives in happiness and harmony from now on.